and walk up straight to you know.
Bad customer service.
I think you couldn't.
Well, she has a temporary only keep you right now.
Are you efficient? No. Okay, that'll do it. 30,000 was it? Don't put it down. Oh, okay. Warming the club. Got it.
Wow.
Okay.
Some really nice stuff.
One is I know I sent a note on it. It's not on our website. Changing one.
Oh, really?
What? Oh.
I'll give you a few more minutes, last man straggler. Yeah, like just right there, when you get just you grab one of the orders or has some resources in there. Check in as well, and then grab some food and drinks.
Thanks.
I'm sorry, check, you should pick it like at 6:30.
Oh, everyone's taking home so far though.
Good.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
I didn't think anybody would be here. Oh my God. I'm just weird.
Like 6:20.
Yeah.
She's the one.
Review.
Yep.
Was that on my Did you get that on?
Oh.
And she got a position at the, of course, that's her.
The one we like.
Hey Greg, Greg, grab one of those folders right there, that's got some information for you. Check in with the draw code and when you get a chance, and then, grab some food and drinks.
No, you're fine. Thank you.
I'm not saying.
Yeah, I think it's like, I don't know, it's like, no, I wouldn't imagine just.
I saw that.
Like seven things, we don't think he's stopping me, so I'm like.
Grab a folder right there, I don't mind to grab a folder. That has the resources for you, check in, draw code, and then grab some food and drinks.
Thank you. Recorded.
If I say something. Quiet.
Typically, it's like these 16:30.
I couldn't even. I'm not officially signed, right?
Did you send any?
Yeah, I already started. Just a matter of talking this.
Oh, no.
No, I can do that one.
Hey.
Everyone wants to make a big grab a folder, they have grab them ready and check in and fill it out. So, what did everyone sit down for a second? Yeah. Very happy to see you. This is actually great. Very, very good time.
Yeah, we already.
Yeah.
Of course, last family and
I know.
I had the student we were working on this hard. Help them.
How about you?
Right?
And it's always on the side this year.
Yeah, that's right.
Whatever else.
if you get in the system.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I understand. I'm not.
We get consider. How to use this titles. And they have always like a stock. I need to bring
I don't do that. I was like, I know spending, and I've got meetings on that. But I'm not. You just think so tonight. So they got one.
Oh, it might be.
I didn't pack any of the other stuff.
You know, somebody, my daughter. My daughter.
Oh, I know. So there is. Yeah.
Like I was never a part of right away.
You will this year.
Even that, I just said, you said you married an education. So now it's really good.
You know what? I'm probably gonna get started here, right? So everyone's continuing doing everything, you know. So yeah, welcome everyone. It is really great to see you. There's so many of you. It is great. Please don't forget to grab one of the folders if you have not. Grab one out of the first folder. So great to see everyone even online, in person. I hope everyone had a great first week last week. And we are very excited to share some updates, kind of just the support system, right? And have a great year with clubs, right? So with that said, I'm going to hand it over to Brittany. There we go.
I love to.
No.
Let's do that.
Okay.
It's not working.
So here is a overview of the agenda for today. We'll start with team introductions. We'll move into the role of the advisor, registration, funding, and fundraising. After that, we'll kind of move into, we'll move into key tools like GiveSmart and Workday. We'll go over some accessibility updates, some public advisor resources, and then we'll finish up with any questions. Oh, cool. Okay. Some introductions. Sean is our advisor. Zainab is our development coordinator. My name is Brittany. I'm the marketing coordinator. This is Inman, our club involvement coordinator, and Bethany, who couldn't make it today, she is currently in clinical, is our Goodman South club coordinator. And before we continue, we just want to sincerely thank you for all that you do. Thank you for generously volunteering your time, your energy, and your expertise. Your unwavering support empowers students to lead, to grow, and to thrive. And you guys are more than just mentors. You guys are builders of the community, advocates for student success, and your impact does not go unnoticed.
All right, and now we will get into the role of the advisor. So advisors have many roles, obviously, but one of the main ones is the role of varying levels of involvement. So an advisor's level of involvement, it can generally differ. It can be an advisor that is super involved, attending events, attending meetings, assisting them. And an advisor can also take a hands-off role, which is also totally fine. An expectation from an advisor is to be a flexible role. An advisor's style of interaction is not really fixed, so it depends a lot on the club's needs, and it also depends on the club goals and its like activity. Last but not least, the expectation of regular communication. We expect from our advisors to have a regular communication with the club and with their organizations, keeping it consistent and now we will go into a funding overview. We have three types of funding. One is membership dues, second is the event, and the third is the travel. We'll start off with the membership dues. If you have 100 members or less, you get up to $25 per student with only a maximum amount of 25 students per club. And the second one is if you have more than 100 students, you get up to $25 per student, but with the maximum amount of 50 students. Our next one would be, so every club gets $100 per academic year. They can use that for food, they can use that for events, anything they want to use that for flyers, printing. If the event money, if the $100 is being used for food, we have two rules for that. If it's under $50, you must, or you can, buy it on campus using catering or use it for off-campus food. But if it is more than $50, we do have a law in Madison College which says you have to use the catering service and get the right of refusal to get food off. Last but not least would be travel. If you have traveling arrangements done for your event, you can get up to $300 per student, but no more than $5,000 per club. But and that money is only used for professional development opportunities or a travel that follows the guides and the mission of the club. And Sean will go over how to submit a budget and payment request to you.
All right, so, I will start off by moving my screen right over in here. This is just a good refresher, right? So, if hopefully everyone's been using Wolfpack Connect, right? That is gonna need it. And I kind of wanted to touch quickly on with what Dan said, the past three types of funding, right? Those are ELT provided funding, right? So you guys all have your own club balances, you guys, or whatever money is in there, that's you guys' money with the club, that's nothing that to do with us, right? But if you need assistance using ELT funds, right? Those are the rules that you have to follow and the different types of funding that's offered, right? So, and that's where we're gonna be showing this right now with how that goes about. So in the dashboard of your group, right, you're gonna be going down to the budget tool, right? And then you're gonna create a budget request, right? So right there, and I want to just make sure that everyone remembers again, this is just a good beginning of the year refresher, it's membership dues. Well, let me put it this way, you have to submit the budget request. And then through every process along the way, come back to the budget request after your event to submit the payment request to get actually paid from ELT, right? Well, membership dues, those are a set fixed rate depending on whatever the dues of your academic club most likely has for members. You only submit the budget request, you're not submitting a payment request on top of it, just one submission and that's it, right? So, but let's just talk about if we're doing a funding request, right? So you select the type of thing and say, hey, the grade time or whatever, be as descriptive as possible, obviously, because this is going to the finance committee of student senate, right? Zainab serves as your advocate and your representative in that those meetings to make sure that your needs are being met. But so everything that you say in this request right here really is going to help either make it or break it for us understanding, or else having to say, hey, we need more information and sending it back, right? So, and James will be the one that reaches out to you, checking in with you, saying, hey, we just didn't fully understand, we just need more help, right? And then you put down, things that you need. So what your requested amount is, what if you have money in your account, right? So some groups have money that they want to spend towards something. And in this case, if you know that you can only get up to $100, right? Maybe if you get something, let's say $170, right? You put down $100, $70 is gonna get financed by the group. And then the other amount you're asking for the funds is $100, right? And again, add those ones. And in this case, there may only be one specific option for event funding, but when it comes down to travel funding, which uses the same sort of principles, you really want to be itemizing it like you would do if you've done a spend authorization or whatever in Workday, right? So just stuff like that, right? And then I'm gonna just probably put down amounts in here, right? Just so that we can have something. And then one new thing that we've definitely done, and yes, we do know that this is a duplicate right here. We need to have it like that. is by having you select your group, this immediately will send out a notification to your advisor, right? So you may not be doing this, the same information, you may or may not, right? The student officers also have access to this, but we want to make sure that there's fully aware of a request that's being made at all times, right? So if you did submit this, you're just getting a notification of what you just did, right? But if a student did it, now you are. We didn't have that last year, ran into some issues, this resolves that, right? And then, yes, so it's gonna pick, well, there we go, right? That would have sent the request out, right? Right there. And then it's just asking for the basic information, and then you submit that, right? That submission then gets sent over to, again, finance committee, where it's right now, it's set to every Friday. Those meetings take place. And so, just bear with me, keep in mind that if something has got to be fully, be approved, right? Or approved after you come back and you want to submit to get paid, Keith, that's because we probably haven't had a chance to have them sit down and talk about, right? So just want you to keep, in mind of that, right? So before we move on, I just want to say, if there are any questions about what I just said or anything I can clarify? And I'm looking at both in person and on the chat, and throw it out there, right? It's okay if you don't, you can always ask me later, in the public email, and it's fine. All right, great. So I'm going to go back to this now. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay, so fundraising. All clubs have the ability to fundraise, whether it's you're raising money for a cause or an educational field trip. Student life would just need to be kept in the know or in the loop about that. Just to make sure that we're following all the school's guidelines and just to be informed of what's going on. So to do that, you need to submit the fundraising form on the Prepackaged. That's pretty straightforward, just the who, what, when, where of it all. So.
Wow, oh, Sean.
So you need to do that on the Wolfpack. And another one with the fundraisers is Raffles. And so the state of Wisconsin asks that all raffles be regulated and licensed. And so we do have licensure on campus. Again, that would need to be for your student life, just making sure that we're in accordance with state laws. And so you need to fill out the raffle ticket request form, and that would need to be completed 2 weeks before ticket sales. And after the raffle is completed, you need to submit the raffle completion form within 2 weeks after the final ticket is sold. Food sales, we don't allow any homemade items to be sold on campus. And if you are to sell any factory sealed or unopened or closed items, that would need to be ran through by catering. So you need to receive permission from there. Okay, next.
So I think this is where a big thing that at least a few clubs have been asking questions about gift month. So we officially, as of spring, have a online option now for receiving fundraising amounts, right? So so no more needing to have personal Venmo accounts. We do not want that happening anymore, right? So I'm kind of showing a couple options, and I really say, if anyone who has a phone, please text, to 41444, text DCG and see what happens. And that's a great example. But yes, some of the things that you can do with that, right, are the text donate campaign, right? You do, I had, I had questions about silent auction, right, that one club, right, that, and so we've got that. It's basically any effort or anything that you can think of that you would probably want to do a fundraising option with. You now have the ability to do that fully and to have that money be collected there, right? And so that money would go into a centralized location to
There's an error, invalid keyword.
that's I think I probably put it in the other TGC. My bad. Another trauma moment. But yeah, that's the group club. That I promise will work out.
Try again.
Yep, let's try again. Yeah, so all the money from any type of, from any proceeds from fundraising would go into an account that would be, managed by the college, right? And then that money would immediately get distributed out, obviously within the few processing days or whatnot, but, it's a very fast, easy way, and we appreciate, the help, from the one club advisor who's actually kind of gave us, the lead on getting it set up and established. So, if you're interested in wanting to use this, please, I ask that, you scan the QR code, fill out the request form. Right now, we're only having 2 users, because I have to add every user in. It's a whole deal, but we don't want to make anybody wait any longer. We want to kind of help, and we also want to pick up understand fully, the project as well with you. And so, we'll get that process going with this one. So there's that. We're moving on to the next slide here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
so-
right.
Is that only for fundraising, or can the students pay their dues on that, or? Because that's a big issue too.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really fully, I guess, talked about it all the way. I'll let my director.
But it's true of them using a credit card though, right?
Yeah, so if you wanted to use this to collect payments, that was not just strict fundraising, 3% is gonna come out. So that'll depend on whether it's worth it to you to collect payments that way.
Okay.
So you're always 3% of
They just
anything.
get charged more like everywhere else in the world then.
So we can set it up so that it's recommended that they cover that 3%, but we can't require it. So
Yeah.
when we set up a form, we can say, check the box that says, I'd like to cover the credit card processing fee. And then it would add 3%, but we can't make that required. So,
No, it's like when we do our t-shirt hoodie sales to
oh, you're
students,
saying just make the dues 3% more than they actually
Yeah.
are? Yeah,
or, the shirt costs another
Yeah.
50 cents or to offset it, and I don't want to pass it on, but the public has to.
Yeah.
But we could use it for that, right?
yes.
But they can't use a bank app or money app to transfer. It has to be a credit card or debit card.
There's some options of how you pay. Do you
I mean,
remember?
I know that. I mean,
Google
you can-
Pay for sure,
Yeah,
Apple Pay for sure.
You can do all the,
You turn it on, because right now it's just showing the credit cards.
I mean, I know that,
I know that's
I know what the
functionality.
option is there. Again, I don't know. I don't know how I answer your question, Jen, personally, off the top of my head, but I do know that I just saw, like last Friday, the option for Apple Pay, right? And I think PayPal was also another option, but, I just don't
If you
know.
have those set up, I think it'll automatically upgrade, because mine has Apple Pay.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. So that's
I think in the last year, I've heard of more money apps out there I've never heard of before that you can use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Several.
Middle-aged white guy, I use Venmo.
No.
That's the one I know of, I just.
But yes, I mean, this course collection use a wide array of things, right? So, to collect money, and so, yeah, great thing to help answer, and yeah, and
I have a question. So like, let's say, is it just one platform for all the clubs? So what if there's multiple fundraisers happening at once? How do you differentiate between
so, yeah,
the different fundraisers? Like
So-
this is for, and at NASA, this is for ASA.
Yeah.
Because there's no like
well, so,
subject matter.
yeah, everybody would have their own campaign, right? So,
Okay. so
NASA
they-
would have a campaign, BSU would have, and then inside of there are activities, right? And so you can have a bunch of different activities for all the different events and things that you do, right? And so that would be the thing that is kind of the tag, so that when the reports get pulled, we know exactly where the money's going to, right? And so that's gonna allow it. But yes, that's a great
So the
question.
campaign would show up on the screen then, I'm assuming? Is that
Well,
what-
I guess I would need to see what you're referencing and talking
Well,
about.
I'm saying.
So that's the test group one,
Oh,
test
it's
group
just a
club,
test group? Okay.
campaign of that, right? So that's why you're not seeing any action, but yes, if we set up one, right? So I know that we have a couple that we worked with and set up right now. Those would automatically be linked to their own respective clubs, right? So, so yeah, that's, I mean, again, and that's the other part of wanting to kind of just get it out there and work with you. It's like, we don't fully know all the things, right? There's a big knowledge base that they're offering that, obviously it's a lot of time to spend reading and learning it, but, we also want to get out and take our way to kind of learn it as we go along. While we're doing it, right? But yes, in general, there is specific things that help. Yeah, exactly.
Can I add one more?
Yeah, go for it, Director.
It's Ellie's fine. So if anybody has participated in any of the combined charitable campaign, anything, all of it is run through the same platform.
Okay.
So the college is United Way, who actually runs it for us, but the silent auction, like the online auction, all of the different things that you can buy or donate, like all of it is the same platform. So hopefully that helps you kind of get a scope of the different types of things, and the auctions are actually really, really nice. So anyone who already does an auction or is thinking about it, this is gonna be a really good alternative to whatever you were doing before.
Yeah.
Do we need to set one up for each thing we do, or can we just set one up for our club, and whether it's a fundraiser or a sale, and it just goes into one pot?
There will be a couple different things. So the auctions are in a separate place. But once you get access to the main platform through the form that Sean had up, you would be able to set up different campaigns. You want to have one that's collecting dues. You have a job fair that vendors are paying for a table for. You can set one up just for them. It will be pretty easy for you all to manage once you get in there and figure
Yeah,
things
and
out.
everything's customizable. I mean,
Yeah.
even in the test right there, I mean, I just put $2 or $3, right? But you got going custom boxes. I mean, it could be anything that you want, be branded specifically to all your club stuff, right?
Is it just the 2 users per club?
Well, for right now, right, because I meant.
No, yeah, so I
doing
just
the math,
wanted-
how many people I'm.
Well, so I was like, do we need to? Because I was looking at, I was just gonna put myself for NASA, but then, so I don't have to submit anything, I'll even know, for user 2, right? It
Yeah,
says that,
yeah.
it says I have to submit
Yeah, fair
something.
point, fair point. You found the error in my form.
My bad, Sean, my bad.
No, yes,
So,
so,
maybe just make it optional for
yeah,
just the
that's
two.
actually great,
So
that's
just-
a great feedback.
Because I wouldn't, because I think about putting a student, but if they're, if I'm the only
Yeah.
advisor for the student,
Yeah,
maybe
no,
just
that's-
make the
that's
second one optional.
Wonderful feedback. I didn't even think about that when I was setting up, honestly. So, yes, I will.
So I'll wait.
One of the things that I need to do, it sounds like after this, is to fix that. So,
Same message.
yeah, but
worries,
I
no
do
rush.
appreciate
Yeah.
that actually bringing.
I just wanted to know.
So, yeah, that's gonna be an issue. So,
Find out
You
your
did-
thoughts.
yeah, I'd rather we find them all up together right now and, be good to go. Any other questions?
You have one online.
Okay, yeah, with restrictions on selling homemade items, I've seen things that come in packaging, but then are assembled, those allow it. I've seen things like boba teas, for example. I'm just gonna look at you, Director, because I don't really know I don't really remember the answer to this on how to explain that question.
Anything that is food being sold should be pre-packaged. So I'm thinking there was boba tea that was actually pre-packaged. That is a thing.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
Yeah, you just have to have a refrigerator big enough for it.
Yeah.
To be packaged.
So that is what we're gonna say. If you saw folks selling egg rolls, those were purchased from a restaurant, like that it may or may not seem in the moment as if it was a prepackaged thing, but yes, that is what we need to go through based on catering and food safety things. You're not gonna bake cookies at home and then come and sell them on campus.
That's a great answer. Didn't think about it like that, yeah. And it looks like Megan is typing. That sounds good. Thanks. Yeah, sure. Thank you. All right. So, any other questions or are we good to continue? All right, so registration.
So, club registration. So, in order to maintain your active status as a club, you'll need to register annually. So, the form can be found on Wolfpack Connect, and it's always due the first Friday of October. And so in that case, that's October 3rd,
Third, yeah.
3 weeks from now. And so, if you go to your group on Wolfpack Connect, you'll see that notification that says group registration. And you'll need to confirm two advisors, two student officers, 3 student club members, and 1 advisor. And so those individuals will receive an email to confirm that they are willing to participate this year. You'll need to update all the group members on Wolfpack Connect just to make sure it's all up to date. And then you also need to go through your club bylaws and make sure that all of that is up to date. Yeah, that is all.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Yeah, so I have a question, I should know this, but I forget. If the students, how do you call it, graduated, are they automatic, like deleted from the list, or do we have to?
manually remove it.
so, I think question is about users, right? Is that what you're, yeah, so, the way that the logic works out, right, is if you're a student that's not enrolled in the classes, right, they're not gonna be in the platform. I mean, that's based off of what PeopleSoft at this current time is, every day that runs at 5 a.m., it sends a report out. And that is, so not in that file, right? That is how the user base should look, right? So, I mean, they would then not be in, right?
Okay, yeah, so they will not be in the membership.
They would not be in the membership any longer. Yeah,
Okay.
yep, exactly.
Okay.
So, yeah. But yes, it's important though to make sure that we're updating the membership because of a lot of things, right? Being able to see certain things, on say like the left side navigation, like the club resources. Only members of, club officers, which include all of you, would have that ability to see that, or, the tracking with the club incentive program. Only that would work correctly because of membership being updated correctly. So it's extremely important that that is happening, because if it's not, yeah, when we'll have wrong numbers, it'll take us maybe longer to get things done with things. We'll try and help you out. If you have issues on contact, and it's just good maintaining maintenance, right? Like it's your club, help out your club's through leaders to make sure that they have the right, leadership in place, which is putting through forward advisors as well. I mean, it's really, there's a lot of different things, right? But Edmund said it really great right here. So,
Quick question. So when you say student, that are enrolling classes, are we including also the ESL classes?
I do not, yes, no. I don't,
Are they in Wolfpack Connect?
yeah,
Yes.
that's, yeah.
Okay,
Yes, yeah,
That's good. Okay.
yeah. It's based on the actual class number, right? So,
Okay.
and so I'm like, I don't believe remember, but yes, it's that and a few other things that probably still alive. We hope so, right? Like things like that, right? But yes, so hopefully that answers that question.
Yes. That's one thing.
All right, so, like I shared, with all the stuff in the club, we'll soon be probably club handbook for advisors at some point, but this is the first iteration of this. It's, about how to check balances, right? So I would assume that probably we have some new faces in there, right? And so not everyone will probably have access right now, but, I have to send a report to the budget office to get that access granted for everyone. But essentially, you should all end up having like CL financial status report access to be able to do any budget, but specifically your budget with that work tab or activity number, right? So I'm going to just walk through, let's just look at my, Bill T's budget, right? And we'll look it through, and again, I have the steps both for online. I put the PDF in there, but I have the steps in the reference guide, right? So you can walk through it with me, and see exactly how I'm doing it. And then, and we're seeing what mistakes I made too. But, yes, this is how I feel like this is gonna be the most effective in helping, everybody feel like they have confidence in knowing, because yeah, I would love to continue playing balance ball. Because I love doing it, it's and stuff. So yes, but, so let me just log in quick here on my end. And if it does not right, as of today, if say somebody is unable to have it work, right? Talk with me, right? Send me a message. We'll get that. I'll make sure that the list, because again, I would like to send it at least right when registration is done, right? That way I know who the advisors are, right? And we'll forward advisors and I send it all at once. But we will make sure that you get your access, right? But we've been reassured this is a working thing now, for everyone. So, all right, so I am going to go in Workday, right? And I feel like that zoomed in super, a lot. So we want to be typing, see our financial or just, financial status report, right? And then that's gonna pop up this sub screen. And I want to just point out a couple of things here because I kind of really just jumped down to the student activity number. But you can essentially check out any budget information from any past fiscal year, right? If, if it's available. It might not always be, but if you're looking just to see what you currently have, right? Yeah, there you go. It's always going to default to the most updated thing, right? But then you're just going down. You don't have to put all the additional information. You just need to know what the activity number is. And so if you do not know at the time, my number lock is off. Do not know at the time what that is. Again, send me a message. I'll make sure that we get that information to you. But it should you could always just start typing it and probably find it that way. But pops up, right? And then we're just pulling okay, right? And then boom, we have the full amount and everything here. So a couple things I'm just gonna also point out here. Anytime you wanna go back to that screen, right? You just hit that little button right there and it'll take you right back in. So say, hey, something looked one way one month and did it look the previous month. Click on that, you can change the view of what last month's budget would have been, right? And that's how you can see things. Now I'm not perfect at Workday by any means. My amazing director is, but I will say though that most things are, you click on them, you get to see and view more information, right? So we can click on something and be able to then just go on and see like what any detailed information, what if there is. And sometimes you may have a lot, right? So, and then you're all also have any of the other things. I don't claim to know enough about how accounting works to really know all these things, but I just like to make sure that I have money and that there's money remaining on the side. Or I'll be in trouble. And this is where all of the money is really going for you guys. So that's but yes, that is in essence how you're checking the balance, right? And I'm throwing it at you.
Yes,
You know?
caught it. So if you are trying to access this report from off campus.
Oh, yes, great one, yeah. You cannot, right? Or let's go to the VPN, right?
Yes.
So, but
If you can't even find the report and you're off campus, it's because you're not on the VPN.
Yep. That was a weird one to realize and figure out. But yes, make sure on the VPN, but otherwise you're good. Great addition right there. All right, so I think that the next thing here would have been me talking about online club purchases, right? So let's just continue where we left off, right? We're just gonna go right back. I'm going to click on those little like lines, opens up that left side navigation window, and then I'm gonna go down to permanent and purchases, right? And then I'm gonna connect to a supplier website.
Does everyone have access to this or
I would assume everyone would if they have that. Yeah, I would assume, yeah.
all the?
I haven't met anyone who has not had access yet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Well, I only have access to someone from the fire, but.
But this would be right. I guess
We should all check.
I know, yeah, don't check, but I know at least a few club advisors who would not be department buyers do have actually purchased things. So, that means they could always be of inherited permission, who knows, right? But
I
yeah.
think it's just a well-kept secret.
It is great.
Well, now you know.
Yeah, now you
know. In this, if you really want to go through the list and figure out a supplier, but I'm just gonna go with Amazon, right? It's easy. I get asked most about that with Amazon. And so we're gonna hit connect here, and then it should pop up this other sub window, right? When that loads, and it's gonna ask you for some information before moving on.
Can I talk while you're waiting?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the reasons we're making sure that club advisors know how to do this is because, college really does not like, in fact, it's pretty upset if you go and purchase things on your own Amazon account and then try to get reimbursed for it. So we're trying to show you if you need to make purchases for supplies for your club, this is really the easiest way to do it because you don't need to get reimbursed. It's gonna come right to your office. It's already gonna be here on campus and you're not gonna get a nasty email, for trying to get reimbursed for an Amazon purchase.
I got in trouble.
I wasn't gonna call anyone out.
I got in trouble for that.
Yeah, Carla.
So I did this last year, but I got in trouble too, I guess. It actually connected Business Prime to my Amazon Prime. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm just saying that in case people do it, just be careful like what you're clicking on, because there are many ways to merge your stuff all over the internet.
I've heard
And
that
so,
happening.
so when I am on my account, I can actually go to Prime as one of the options. I don't know how that happened, but
Huh.
so I'm really careful when I buy stuff on my stuff so that it
Yeah,
comes to me
yeah.
and not here. So
get in trouble.
just FYI, yeah.
So I had sexually, right, I did not know at all, and
So I have
So it
to.
should say Business Prime and
It
not
does,
Business
right.
Prime.
But it looks the same, so you really don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you right now, though, it's not, this screen that just popped up, I didn't pop open the sub screen, right, which basically asks for where the item is gonna, who's paying for the item, right, and like who's requesting it, right, and all that information, right, so, maybe it's because I was finishing up on this last night, right, and I already had things in my cart, or maybe it was because I checked it this morning. I don't know, like, it's a little weird and strange because it is on this computer, not on the laptop, but, I would still believe though that you would get the sub window that just says who's requesting it, right? So you're putting in all the information I have on the documentation, and, you know, and very laid out and simple, you know, it says who's the.
So Sean, it should say, hello, not Sean, but whoever signed on, like,
Yep.
hello, Rhoda, account for Madison College.
Yep.
And we're good.
Yeah, I mean, you're right
You're
now,
right where you need to
this
be.
is not just
And it should
coming.
say business prime.
Right.
Yep, exactly, yep. Right now, this is telling me I'm good so far, right? So, yeah. I was just looking at, Sharpie markers, right? So, let's, look at some Sharpie markers and,
And so it's automatically tax exempt, right, if you're in the correct way.
I.
Automatically what?
Tax exempt.
Yeah.
That's another great question. I did not have that. So, I'm gonna pick up, this sweet Sharpie set, right? And I mean, even today, that's great. So add that to cart, right? And I mean, all this would be the same as you do it with like doing personal line, right? Check out, and then it should though now change over a little bit, asking one to submit it, and then it's gonna ask for some additional information, right? So, yeah, this is basically giving you all the information, and at least it's my knowledge. So that's where you don't touch this part of it, like leave all this alone. And then submit order for approval, right? This should then take you back into Workday, and it should now start saying, hey, we need some more information of what to do with this, right? So, and so, yeah, so this is the thing I was looking at yesterday is that the Sharpie, and now these are that $55 wrong. So it took all of that, right? The stuff I still had in my cart, right? But, so we're gonna just go check out right now, right? So I'm gonna check it all out. And now, let's see if, it still is gonna make, okay, so when you put it, I'm gonna go get into that here in a second. So, obviously, you know, those asterisks means you have to provide information, and I don't touch anything else that says don't have to put it in. So the big thing that I had in this part of the documentation is that you're just going down the screen until you get to the part where it says goods, and then horizontally you're moving the bar over, right, to read the spend category, And then depending on what it is, most times it would be student activity or club expense, I believe that's where I have it picked on, right? But maybe I know that last year there was a few instances where it was not exactly that, right? And I think just matched up best, if you look at the, on Wolfnet, the finance administration, there, a whole list of different spend categories, but if it, most other times it could be, off, this applies non-instructional, or if it's 31, something like that. I don't know if you probably have better idea than I know, but, yes, you gotta put that down, you gotta enter that information in, right? And then once you're into that information, you're submitting it. And I believe that would all then go to Deanne at that point. So she's our buyer, and then, yeah, I've for just approve everything. Unless if it's some weird thing yeah, so she's just gonna approve it and, then voila, it's gonna show up. So,
The internal memo is where it would be helpful to put your office number or where it should be delivered.
oh, yeah,
That was
so,
new
yeah.
information to me. So.
Well, yeah, yep. And I would say, one thing I would say is, if you didn't have that screen pop up when you do it, right? You would probably have to enter in a bunch of this information, right? Because it would be looking for that, but because I've already done that, right? Here I should say, because I already did that, at least when the pop-up window pops up or when you get connected to supplier, right? I only had to put in a spend carry, but yeah, you'd be wanting to put down 714 for student clubs. This is the same 321, B93400. Obviously, I think would say most times stress, but it really depends on your location. And then you want to put down your Workday or student activity interaction. This is a big key one right there as well. So, but yes, that is how, that's how you essentially order things, with club funds, right? And makes it simple because then, yeah, like Ellie said, you don't have to do any of the other stuff with it, right? So, any questions that I might be able to answer? I don't know that, but may or may not, but, all right. So, sweet. That was, we didn't think, none of us thought that would be the hardest part of this, so, so we're doing great. So I'm gonna move over to accessibility updates, right? So we now all have to, based on these updates to the Title II with Americans with Disabilities Act, right? We are working to make sure that we are meeting the compliancy, standards on April 2026, right? And so what does that mean, right? It means I have and a lot of other website owners, right? So have to get a lot of these things. Get it again. Have to get a lot of these things ready and done, and we are I think it's monthly meeting checkups, right? But part of that is going to require some of your help, right? Everything that we want. I think part of it is not just updating to get to the standard, but then understanding that that is the standard now, right? We want to be making sure that we're accessible for everyone can use and see and be a part, right? And so a good example is this image right now is from when you want to create an event, right? And Wolfpack Connect. And so I may see it, and actually was a single weekend, right? That a lot of times events do not have such things, right? And so we want to be making sure that we're putting some as a descriptive something that allows the screen reader actually to be able to say what that image is, right? That goes for other things like any emails, right? Emails I see that a lot. I have a tool that we've been given that lets us see exactly where we fall with the rating and how we get there, right? And so yeah. A lot of the things I'm seeing it from are events and emails and documents. So a document can also have a descriptive, link for your information. We want to make sure that going through your files, right? And I know that they collect and they just accumulate over time. We're either deleting them or we're updating them to make sure that they're, and I'll be honest with you, I think it's easier to delete and then just replace, right? And because you may have a lot of files, this really is a lot of files. Wolfpack Connect. But yes, it's the standard that we're gonna be getting to and it has to get done, right? So, but we want to also make sure that we just, about how we can cover with just being in the mindset of that's the new way that we do things, right? So the digital accessibility quick tips, you can scan that QR code. That would take you to, I think, somewhere on Wolfnet that has that, and maybe HR or something like that. And then I also would suggest and highly recommend that check out the course that they're offering. It has some more information on things to think about, like every time you make a PDF doc, like these documents that are in front of you all, they all needed to have, some descriptive text on them, right? So I made sure to accessibility checker, see where they fall on that, and make sure you make the necessary changes, right? So but it's important and we want to make sure that we are being accessible for everybody. So, and I like that people snapping the photo. That's a good sign. So, all right. So next, thing here is,
All right, now we will start in our incentive program. Over the past few years, we've seen a significant increase in amount of how many clubs are completing their incentive programs. This can be due to many factors. One can be improvement of our outreach to the clubs, the usage of the club liaisons, and also the commitment of our own club leaders to complete all of these programs. And I would definitely recommend you guys to take a chance and look at all of these numbers that shows that how much have we given out to all of the clubs using the incentive programs, and encourage your student leaders to complete all of the incentive programs. To continue this trade, our main goal is to reimagine the program, to make it more accessible to all of the clubs. We will take feedback from our student leaders to improve, and this is going to be our first major step to redesign a new incentive.
Now, some key terms. You can find the information on the new requirements for the student for the new club incentive program in the new club handbook. Some key terms would be the core incentives, and those ones are must be completed to finish the level. The elective incentives, you can choose from the ones listed in the handbook, and these may supplement or help you finish the next level. And just to note that the students should be completing these incentive tasks, not the club advisory.
and I can just jump in for it. So I think the big thing that we have seen it different, right? So, last year we had it a specific way and you're gonna see like this information, or it just said this is another different way as we have been listening last year to multiple student leaders talk to us about it, right? And say, hey, I think this needs to be redone and so that we can swap things out and still be able to get things done and complete the levels and get the money right with. So, so this is kind of the idea, right? You gotta get the first done. The electives, you can pick from a wide, array of choices and which are obviously listed in the handbook, right? But so I've been using the example of we have a student leader who might have been a student last year who went to an orientation, might not want to go to an orientation again. They could instead go and say, I want to check out one of the Wolfpack Connect trainings that I'm doing, right? On a different thing that they did not know about. And they can use that as the thing that is placeholder to then say, oh, you completed say level 1 or whatever, right? We wanted this is the first step in a bigger approach to make it way more accessible, but I think this is in the right path though of saying, hey, we want to get all clubs feeling like feeling like they're a part of this and that they're actually getting money, and we want to continue to give out money. We want to continue to have no money left over. We want to, that's our goal, right? That's what gets us excited. So sorry to interrupt.
All right. Yeah, so you can see the chart on the required core and elective for each level. It's 2 core electives and 1 elective incentive. And in the second, if it's 3-1 and 3-1, so that would be how you move up. Into a little bit more, okay?
Thank you. Some other resources are very available to you guys as club liaison, because one of us from the team was the direct point of contact. We're developing a resource hub that will have kind of like guides and updates. But the club handbook is kind of like always your go-to for policies. The Clarion spotlights, some clubs, identity-based clubs can connect to the intercultural exchange, and then student life is available for drop-in hours, printing, or general support. And all of these are kind of here to help make things easier for you guys.
That's me. There are 2 events that I'd like to point out specifically. All the other events you guys can see on Wolfpack Connect. So yes, the Campus Monday on the Truex campus is coming up. So that would be on the 16th from 11 to 1 p.m. And then the Goodman South Campus Monday would be on the 23rd, from 11 to 1. And if you're interested in having tabling for your club, just respond to an email that you should receive a week ago, and that should be there.
And we will send out another email.
Just to be safe.
You put that up again? I'm sorry, I didn't. Okay, got it, thanks. That was just a tip right there.
Go ahead.
Will we get a copy of the presentation today?
Oh, definitely, everyone, yep,
Thank you.
that will be the other thing, fix the survey, and send out the presentation, yep. Yeah, I'm on top of it.
All right, are we ready to move on?
Yep, sorry.
No worries.
All right, we want to thank you guys for attending today, taking the time out of your day to join us. I know you guys have busy schedules. I want to take the time to thank the online people for joining us as well. Please reach out if you guys have any questions via email or with your club liaisons. We will still be hanging out for a minute or two, so if you guys have any questions, please come up and ask us. Last thing, we will be sending out a survey through the email for everyone, so we ask you guys to please complete that survey. And thank you again for coming. We can't wait to work with you guys.
Oh,
Very informative, thank you.
I don't want to show you that.
I got it.
I know.
That's why I think we're really
I'll be working. Maybe probably lab and-
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not in there.
You're right.
No, I
Maybe
can't.
find out.
There you go.
Because I'm-
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm in here on the back. What?